What's up, guys? It's Carly with FasciNATIVE English, where if you are finally ready to take your English to another level and to begin speaking English like a native English speaker, then you've come to the right place. So let's get into it. What's up, guys? I have another phrasal verb for you all today, and today's phrasal verb is bundle up. Again, that is bundle up. And this just means to put on warm clothing or coverings, all right? To put on warm clothing or coverings, to bundle up. So let's say it's so cold outside, and of course I can't wear this outside, right? I'll be cold, so I have to bundle up. I'll have to put on like maybe a jacket. I was looking around the room like saying, do I have a jacket nearby me? No, but I will put on a jacket, or maybe if it's really cold and I'm not playing, I can be like, I'm wearing this blanket. Like I'll just put on a blanket. Got my little blanket. You guys don't know it because you only see the top half of me, but I have a little blankie that I cover up with when I'm recording sometimes because it gets my tootsies get cold. I'm bundled up right now as I'm recording this, all right? Maybe not so much up here, but I got a blanket over my legs and my feet because I ain't playing with this cold. It's December. But yeah, so if I go outside and I'm like, I need a jacket, maybe I can wear a blanket, put a little hoodie on, a little beanie, maybe a scarf and some mittens. You know, I'm bundling up because it's cold outside. All right, so bundle up just means to put on more clothing or coverings to keep you warm, or to put on warm clothing or coverings. So my story for you all today is in 2021, my whole family was living in South Korea again. I know I talk a lot about Korea, but you guys have to realize that if I'm not talking about my kids, most likely I'm talking about Korea, or I'm talking about Korea and my kids. And that's today's video because my kids take up such a huge part of my life and my heart. And then Korea also, because I lived in Korea for so long, and then it's just like most of my memories that I can recall just happened to have happened in Korea. So this video is gonna be once again about a story of Korea and my children. Two of my favorite things to talk about right there. So I hope you stick around. Hope you're not sick and tired of hearing me talk about my kids and Korea. But this was in 2021. We were all living in Korea and we went from Changwon, the city that we were living in, to Seoul. And it was November time. And in Changwon, this city, it was pretty cold, but it wasn't like super duper cold. But we could wear our winter jackets, and it was like around Thanksgiving times. It was getting colder. So we went to Seoul. And we were in Seoul for like a week, just like sightseeing and everything. And while we were in Seoul, the temperature just like dropped like that. Like our first day, not too shabby, not too bad. It was very nice, like not super cold, but not super hot. The next day, oh my goodness, like negative temperatures, like freezing cold. And we still went to sightsee because even though I had lived my life and, you know, I've been everywhere in Suwon and Seoul and all that area, it was my husband's first time. And my children's first time. Like my oldest son, he's been to Seoul a million times. He lived there, but he was younger. So now he's a little bit older and he could like actually see and remember things. And then my youngest son, he was like not even 2 years old yet when this happened. He was almost 2, so he doesn't remember that. But still, nonetheless, we're gonna sightsee no matter what. We're gonna make a good time of it. So we really had to bundle up. And I mean, we just left our pajamas on underneath our clothes. Like our pajamas, they're staying on. That's called, some people call it like Under Armour or underwear. Not like underwear, not like the underwear that, see, this is how English is confusing sometimes. Because underwear is like underwear, like your undies that you wear under underwear. But sometimes it can also be like the undergarment clothes to keep you warm, underwear. So it's kind of confusing. It just, context, people, context. So we would wear our pajamas under our clothes kind of to keep us warm. And I promise you, I had on like tights, like pantyhose tights. I had on tights, and then I had on like leggings, which were kind of like my pajamas because, you know, I love leggings. I had on leggings, and then I put on like my either sweatpants or jeans depending on what I was wearing that day. And then for the top, again, I had on Uniqlo, which this is not sponsored, but Uniqlo, if you want to sponsor me, I love you. Uniqlo has this brand. Uniqlo is like a Japanese brand, but they have it here in America. They have it in Korea. They have it many places all over the world. And they have this line that's called Heat Tech. And they have these clothes that are like designed to keep you warmer. So I had bought Heat Tech for myself and for the kids. My husband, poor him, I don't know if I had any for him. I think maybe just one heat tech item. I'm not sure. But I had on like my Uniqlo heat tech on underneath everything, so it was like keeping me warm. And then I put on like another little sweater, and then I put on another sweater, and then my jacket, and then scarf and hat, and then we had gloves, and then of course I had on like the fuzzy thick socks, you know, to keep me warm. And still we were cold. Like I was bundled up. And if I have a picture, I probably do, I'll put a picture up here of my youngest son. He looked like a little Eskimo baby. He looked so cute because he was so bundled up. He had on like, literally he had on his pajamas, and then he had on his clothes over top of his pajamas, and then he had on like 2 sweaters, and then he had on his thick like North Face jacket that had like a hood and everything, and then a beanie. And you know, I would put like a scarf around him underneath to make sure his neck is warm, and he had on like boots. And then we had him in the stroller, which honestly, if you're thinking about bringing a stroller to Seoul, don't. Like, I don't know why. I thought like it would be smart because I didn't want to carry him around me all the time, but because, you know, I had on like my jackets and everything, but it's just not stroller friendly. But still, I had it, so I had to use it. So I had on his stroller, and then his stroller had like a little protector thing on it too to keep him warm. He was set, bro. Like he was warm. He was bundled up. And then the same goes for my oldest son. He had on like 20 layers of clothes along with his big long padding jacket. I'm not really sure what we call it here in America. In Korea, these jackets are really common. They're called long padding. In America, we call it a puffer jacket, but when it's a long one, I guess we call it like a long puffer jacket. Long padding puffer. Don't quote me. Sometimes it's weird because yes, I'm 100% American. I was born and raised here, but living in Korea sometimes messes me up because I learned these English words in Korean. They're like Konglish, you know, and long padding jacket is one of the words where I'm like, do we call it long padding jacket in America too? Like, what do we call it? I'm pretty sure we call it a puffer jacket, but we have longer ones and we have shorter ones. So my son had a longer puffer jacket on, and of course like beanies, like scarf, gloves, everything. And we were just sightseeing, but we were still so cold. Like I'm telling you, we planned to save money by like taking the subway or just walking wherever we need to go, but no, we were taxiing everywhere. We're like, we need to be warm, like it's too cold. And I remember us trying to get a taxi around from our hotel. Like we were like, let's not like get a taxi from the hotel, let's walk around the area, sightsee a little bit, and then get a taxi. And we were walking, we realized, oh, this is like a business area, like there's not a lot of stuff to do. So we tried to get a taxi, and it's really easy. You can use like Kakao Taxi or apps or whatever on your phone, but for some reason they said that there was none in the area. Maybe like that never happens in Korea, there's always taxis around. So maybe there was something going on with my phone or whatever, I don't know. But we were just trying to wait for a taxi, and then we had the stroller, so a lot of times like the taxi driver would just say like, oh, like I don't have room in my trunk for the stroller. So I was like, oh, like this is hard. How am I gonna find a taxi that has room to put this in? So we had to like wait and wave, and then the taxi driver would come and be like, oh, no room. And I'm like, ugh, and we have to find another one. We almost froze to death. And I know I'm being dramatic and I know I'm exaggerating, but like it was so cold. I was freezing, and we had heat packs that we were holding, and I was like trying to keep my babies warm, and I'm like, please somebody, Lord help us, like we're gonna freeze to death. Even though we were bundled up like so much, the wind around those city buildings in Seoul was just whipping around there, and it was blowing straight at us. It was freezing. Like I'm pretty sure the Fahrenheit temperature was like -3, and I was like, Lord, but it was just so cold. It was so cold, and we were all bundled up, and we were waiting for the taxi, and then we finally got one. We went to our other sightseeing destination, and then from there the saga continued, us trying to find a taxi that will fit a stroller in. And that's why I say, do not bring strollers to Seoul. It is a pain in your butt, and you are going to regret it. Just wait till your kids are a little bit older, or carry them on you or something, but don't bring a stroller. It is not stroller friendly. And here I am creating another video about Seoul and what to do while you're in Seoul and what not to do. Maybe I'll make that a series one day if anybody is interested, but sorry that my videos kind of turned into this. I told you before, this is just my life, Korea and my kids. So here's a video of both Korea and my kids. But yeah, we were bundled up so tightly, and we survived. Obviously, we're here today to tell the tale. It was cold, probably the coldest I have ever been in my life, and I have been in cold weather. Like I lived through those winters in Seoul when I was living there, but this day, for whatever reason, was just like the coldest day ever that I've ever experienced in my life. But we were bundled up. We tried to stay warm. Whenever we went inside, we would like have to shed everything because they have it so hot inside, and then we have to put everything on and bundle up when we go outside. So it was a lot of unzip, zip, unzip, zip of our jackets. But it was nice. We had a good trip. Everybody had fun. We saw a lot of sights, and that's all that matters. So I hope you guys have a better understanding of this phrasal verb bundle up. If you do, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you all in the next video.